La 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 la. Are you sure this is working, Pika? He's worried about my diction and enunciation. He's saying that he's getting scathing email as the executive producer of this show. That's a joke. He's a stuffed animal. Hi, how you doing? Welcome back once again. It is time for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. It has been surfing my coffee table ever since, and a constant source of comic book shop style conversations, the kind I wish to recreate today here right now with you. So grab a cup of your favorite whatever, pull up a chair to the coffee table, join us, and let's talk about comic books. I'm going to have a sip. Hot cup of coffee, indeed. The golden age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The silver age between 1956 and 1970. The bronze age, I'm a bronze age baby myself, between 1970 and 1985. And the copper age begins in 1985. I get these definitions and standards from the glossary of the most current edition of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide, a great source for standards, such as these, talking about the eras of comic books. And I hope you are doing awesome. I hope that everything is coming out well for you, and I hope you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Seriously, I take this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. We're going to open up to today's date, which is November the 13th. We're going to look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age, and then we're going to talk about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So let's get to it. Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are the most important part of this show, this conversation that we're having. Ha 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 ha. It's we're going to the dogs today. It's art by Sheldon Moldoff from the cover of Batman number 92 in June of 1955, near the end of the Golden Age. Let's take a look. Who could that be? The answer is Ace. Ace the Bat Hound. Let's read. In the mid-1950s, DC's editors began introducing a series of gimmicky new characters to the Batman series, many of them including Batgirl, Batwoman, and Aunt Agatha, were female and apparently designed to combat allegations that the tone of previous stories was homoerotic. But there was also a pixie in Batmite and a pet called Ace the Bat Hound. The dog might also have been a reasonable addition to the team of Batman and Robin, but Ace was soon granted absurd abilities, from the powers of deductive reasoning to a talent for narrating his own adventures. He also had a mask to disguise his secret identity. The dog was borrowed from its original owner until Batman ultimately adopted him, like all of his Robins, of course. So yeah. And look at that Batmobile. That's a Batmobile. That's a classic Batmobile. Look at that. Look at that utility belt. No pouches. Those are pods. Yeah, I mean, we've just been talking about Frank Miller for a week. So I've had my fill of the pouches on the utility belt. I want to go back to something sciencey and the pods, you know. But all right. So the intention of this show is not just to do a 365 days. I'd like to at least make the attempt to make a source of evergreen content. What does that mean? Evergreen content means it can be reviewed and rewatched, and I could perhaps even re-release this on the same date next year and the following year, if I don't tie them down to current day events and just things of like that day or things of that minute. With that said, we're comic books fans. We meet here, and we're in sorrow, and we're mourning the loss of a great talent. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, from Batman the Animated Series of 1992, and so on, has passed away after a short battle with cancer at 66 years old. He passed away just the other day. And God bless you. Namaste. Good luck. Good travels. See you on the other side. Mr. Conroy, thank you for your Batman. He voiced so many other iterations of Batman outside of Batman the Animated Series. I don't even want to pull up a list and just read. What I want to do is gush about him, and personal sorrow that I didn't get a picture with him at Fan Expo, whether it was the past one. I don't know if he was there or not, but he's definitely a convention guy. He loved the fans. He connected with people. He was a genuinely good chap. You know, he was a character actor. He made his bones working in New York in theater. Remember a charming story of his. He was talking about being a waiter at a restaurant, and I could have sworn I had actually eaten at that same restaurant. Not with him there, but the way he described it, where it was geographically. I'm like, I bet I've eaten there, you know. So that's, you know, it was charming. I remember him from a famous episode of Cheers, the NBC sitcom of the 80s that was set right here in my hometown of Boston. But there's two things I want to bring up about with Mr. Conroy. One, my video collection, and two, I'll put their link in the description as well. The Arkham Sessions. The Arkham Sessions is this wonderful podcast I tuned into less than a decade ago. I think it was about 2014 or so, and it's about Dr. Andrea Letamendi, a licensed psychologist, and Mr. Brian Ward, he's a producer at at a really awesome DVD Blu-ray house. He makes documentaries and the bonus features for these things. You can check them out. I'll leave the link in the description. But Brian and Andrea have a really nice format. They're huge Batman fans, and their mission is to promote mental wellness and good depictions and authentic depictions of mental health in our fictions, and also take the gas out of bad depictions. So if someone's using, you know, pop psychology and relying upon a flawed model, well, no, I mean, you're doing more harm than good if you're doing that. And so they really, they had a big impact on my life. I got really into Batman and Psych about 2011, 2012, when I first started being on Twitter as well. I found out about their podcast, and I tuned in. I think I tuned in within the first 5 episodes that they started doing, so it was easy to go back and listen to. But what they did was something really cool. They took Batman as a case, and so Drea had a session with Batman and his rogue galleries, or even his allies and associates, every week. And so they did every episode of Batman the Animated Series and psychologically analyzed Batman and gave us what is going on in this Batman. Such as, there's this one episode, I always tend to forget the name, but they bring up the true condition of compassion fatigue, and how this certain episode is about how Batman is being struck with compassion fatigue. He has lost the wind in his sails. He doesn't see the value in his mission anymore. And in 22 minutes, in this act structure short story, Batman goes from this absolute low to a new normal. He's been given back his sense of mission and of purpose, and he's conquered his compassion fatigue, because earlier in that episode he was about to hang it up. Why? We all suffer from this. We all come across this. This is great. I mean, I am very, very happy to have been part of that, and I would totally tell you to check them out. It would be a great reason to rewatch the show. Yeah, this is my my DVD box set that came out a few years ago. Came with 3 mini Funkos of a Harley, Joker, and Batman. This is the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm drawn, the seminal Batman of this generation. Probably more impactful than Frank Miller's The Dark Knight or Tim Burton's '89 film, and which this was a result of both of those. So, but this is, when you think Batman, we think, Kevin Conroy and his depiction of him. And so this is, I've got a lot of the Kevin Conroy Batman, and I'm very appreciative. And so I have the entire series of Batman, the animated series, the New Adventures of Batman and Robin are in here. The Mask of the Phantasm's in here. And what wasn't in there, though, was Mystery of the Batwoman. And in hindsight, this wasn't one of my favorites. But after the series concluded in 1999, the same characters, now I should get them too, because of the crossover episodes, and I got such a Static Shock, Superman the Animated Series, and eventually Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which would be literally the same Batman. Yes, this is a continuation of that Batman show. True that. What also is a continuation of that Batman show? Oh, by the way, yeah. The Superman Batman movie. Huh? This is where the first World's Finest movie. This was pretty good. This is Lex Luthor and Joker versus Batman and Superman, and it's the Bruce Timm style. It's the Paul Dini stuff, and this is really good. I got one more, and this came out just a few years ago too. Like the continuation of the same universe. It's the Justice League Unlimited, but this has elements of Legion of Superheroes and one of the newest Green Lanterns, Jessica Cruz. And this was done, just a few years ago. So Mr. Conroy was voicing this character for 30 years. Batman the Animated Series premiered in 1992. So Kevin Conroy was Batman for 30 years. Yeah, kept him gainfully employed. And he was beloved by our fandom. And I also have Batman Beyond, the complete series. This is really good. This is about young Terry McGinnis, who inherits the Batsuit, and there's old Bruce Wayne, voiced by Kevin Conroy. So thank you, Kevin Conroy. So today was about Batman, and anyway, but the bad news came. We heard about it yesterday, and our hearts go with Mr. Conroy's family and friends and each other, because Kevin Conroy really defines the Batman's voice. He's got the Bruce Wayne character. He's got the Batman character, and the most important character. There's the real Bruce. This is real Batman, who's not the real Bruce Wayne. Is not the Bruce Wayne billionaire playboy, and is not the rough, tough, griff, crime-fighting Dark Knight either. It's a middle ground, where it's a unified personality, and he plays this triune. Kevin Conroy played that triune role very well, in my humble opinion, and because we see that again and again with Batman actors. I think Adam West did a great job with that. I feel Christian Bale did a really good job with the three Batmen. Bruce Wayne, billionaire playboy, Batman, the Dark Knight, and in between is the real Bruce. And Kevin Conroy nailed that role for 30 years. Wow. And so, we've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make regular content here about cooking and spirituality. We make daily content here about comic books, and we're going to see what we're doing next year. Something's brewing. Something is brewing, yes, and it's not just a cup of good coffee at this coffee table with the coffee table book. Yes, we have daily content of comic books for from the noob to the veteran. I hope you enjoy this content, these conversations that we're having. It's nice to see you all in the live chats when I can make it. Usually I'm coming home from work, so sometimes I'm in the subway. You know what I mean? Literally in the subway tunnel. You know, on a car, on a train. And sometimes I'm able to kick back and enjoy the live chat. So keep the comments coming and keep tuning in. Thank you so much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.